We'll try to get on. Perfect. All right, everybody. Good morning. And hope everyone's doing pretty good over here this morning. This is, most people know, this is the AREIS meeting, the alternative real estate investment meeting that we do. This is more or less geared toward anything having to do with real estate. We try not to get too focused on tenants and toilets. There is a whole separate meeting for that, which is actually going to be next Thursday morning, same time, same place. That is the housing providers meeting. You can actually go on the FFREIA website. You can check it out, see what time, see basically who's going to be hosting that. And I think next week is that Beth and Bob and Pat?
That's just Pat and Bob, and it is still up in the air whether it will be on Zoom or be in person or blended. So we don't quite know yet. I guess only 10 people showed up to Ezzy's when they did it in person and didn't have a Zoom component. So we're trying to make it flexible for everybody, especially with the new wave of COVID.
Yeah.
So it's just a question of getting a place that's got the IT backbone to support having a blended meeting without it sounding like you're in a bathroom talking to people. So
yeah, I get it. All right. Yeah. So everybody go on to FFREIA.com, FFREIA.com, check it out to see what's going on with that. And then we also have the next Thursday night is going to be the main meeting, the monthly meeting. Andy, I didn't check to see what is that meeting on, and I apologize because I don't know what they're going to be talking about.
No problem. We actually have a guest speaker coming in to talk about starting from scratch and building your portfolio and investing in other areas that aren't necessarily the city of Rochester. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good meeting, all told.
That's fantastic. And that's going to start at 7 o'clock, 6:45. Everyone wants to be able to get on and be able to at least do some networking. Okay. So definitely check that out. And I don't know is there anything that anyone has to go over? I don't know if Joe's on, if Leon's on, if they need to go over anything, are we good to go, or anyone has to?
I don't think there's anything. I think I'm the only one on. Everybody else is AWOL. Joe had meetings this morning and Susan's got family in town. So.
Okay. All right. All right. Perfect. We get started over here.
Just as I say that, Susan hops on. So
Susan!
maybe family's gone. I don't know.
Yeah, she kicked them out. Said, I'd rather get on this. I don't know. So basically, by the way, for everybody, most people who know this is open forum. If you have questions, feel free to ask, feel free to talk about it. And I know there's a lot of things going on in regards to a lot of questions have been popping up with different things happening, especially with them extending the eviction moratorium, which was passed last night till January 22nd, I think. Yep. So we got 5 more months. So if anybody wants to talk about that in regards to how it's going to affect our investment strategies, portfolios, feel free to ask about that. And but before we get into all that, want to do a real quicker cover haves and wants. If anyone has anything they're looking for, anything you want to sell, anything whatever it is you want, put it out there. Does anyone have anything that they're looking to sell or buy?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes.
This is Michelle. How are you? So we have a small portfolio that we are looking to sell. It is all retail though. Long-term strategy, retail pricing, probably more geared toward owner occupant, but there are tenants in place, solid tenants. And we're also looking for storage facilities and happy to take on experienced partners for equity share. But we have some funds that we would like to put into a storage facility And we're also doing private lending, and we have some funds available for that.
Michelle, if you don't mind me asking you, the portfolio, are they city, suburbs, mixture?
There's all city, like Salisbury Street, Winchester, Burley. Most of them are in decent areas.
Yeah.
But they're all single family. We rehab most of them when we purchase them. But again, they're all priced at retail owner occupant pricing.
Okay. All right, perfect. Anyone else?
Yeah, Joe, I'm like to say that I'm actively looking for, if anyone knows of any storage facilities in the southeast area of the United States, Florida, Georgia, what have you. But then again, anywhere in the US would be good. Particularly, I'm looking for anything between 7,000 square feet all the way up to 25, 30,000 square feet. My deal is that I just want to pick up a facility, and I want to pick one up and wholesale the facility, get under contract and assign it. So, well, at this point, I mean, if it looks good, I want to buy it, then I'll buy it as well. But if anyone knows of an owner that wants to be out, retire, or any other unfortunate situation, please, by all means, get my contact info and let me know. So that's all I got.
All right. Perfect.
Scott just hopped on. He's connecting right now.
Perfect. While he's trying to connect, anyone else looking to have anything they're looking to buy or sell? I know I'm looking for commercial residential properties. Funny thing about it is everybody's looking for storage units. I'm gonna start focusing on that also, and not just here in New York, different parts of the East Coast. And I'm definitely looking at industrial. So if anyone has anything that's industrial, please let me know. I'll try to put my contact information on the chat. And by the way, there is a chat box. Most of you already know. Put your information on there, so that way people can actually contact you or each other. So we can actually, if we find anything, we can actually get in touch. Okay. But yeah, but I'm also looking for, I'm still doing residential and city, suburbs, but yeah, pretty much wherever makes sense numbers wise, big, small. Please give me a shout. I don't know if is Scott even connected yet? The man, the myth, legend.
I'm connected. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning. There he is.
Got a couple of technical difficulties this morning, but we got her under control. So, page one, I'm looking for storage also. All down into Florida, and trying to avoid Louisiana right now. So I know I have some friends who suffered some things with their storage units down there, and it's, yeah, it'll be okay. I have some friends who live down there too, and but yeah, storage is good, and that's what I'm looking for.
Perfect. Anyone else?
One other thing too, have a friend selling a house in Brockport. It's a duplex. One side is rented out with a good long-term tenant that's been paying. The other side is vacant. He chose to leave it vacant for owner occupied. Has a garage with it, and also has a big barn for storage and a nice big lot with it too. So if you know family and do owner occupied, or somebody looking for a good duplex and walking distance to the couch, let me know. I can send you the information.
Perfect. Anyone else? Oh, I do have, oh, you know what I forgot? I do have a house in Greece, which it's gonna need work. It's a 3-bedroom with a / office, small 4th bedroom, pool, needs work, ranch, partially finished basement. It's not a walkout. That one's gonna go for, I think about 107. And if you want information on that, get a hold of me on that. And then I do have a house in the city that needs work. It had a small fire in it. They were rehabbing it. It's got 2 full bathrooms. I think it's a 3 or 4 bedroom house. Newer roof, vinyl windows. I think it's vinyl sided. I can't even remember anymore. And that one I think we're selling for either $25,000 or $27,000. So if you're interested, give me a call on that also. Anyone else? Christmas is coming up. What's on your wish list for properties? Everybody's good? All right. Oh, hey, Scott. Scott, can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you fine.
I apologize. I have to step away for like 45 seconds over here because something just happened right outside my property over here. So Scott, we went over just has and wants. I don't know if we're talking whatever you want to go over.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll be right back. Something just happened. Holy smokes.
Always fun with Joe on the call, that's for sure. So I switched camera. I understand my connection a little low, so I'll just put my contact info in the chat box. And let's see, I've things been going good for me. I was able to come up for the picnic. I was up for a couple days. We were able to come up, a couple doctor's appointments. We were able to take care of that. And I got to meet some great people, some new people, some a lot of parties. And but no, business wise, self-storage is going good. It's gotten a little busier. People looking, and let's see. And we're still, I'm still looking for properties up in Rochester. If they make sense. A couple people I'm working with up there and get them along. And we're still doing some money lending. It's just very limited right now, given the market. That's where we're at with things. So, Joe, you all set?
Sorry. I saw one of my neighbors go down. She's elderly by herself. And I said, holy smokes. I had to go out there and just make sure she was all right. So she's fine. Sorry about that. I don't know what you guys were going over there for a second. I apologize.
I was just the picnic. We're able to come up with for the picnic and told everybody how good it was. It was to meet some new people and see some familiar faces too. And, and the self-storage business is going good.
Yeah, you know, so many more people are looking at self-storage because of especially what's going on up here right now. I've never heard so much talk about self-storage and things that are a lot easier to deal with than I have over the last year and change.
Yeah, I didn't ask. Do we have anybody new like this?
Scott, I think you're fading out.
This is more newer.
Yeah. Scott, you're fading out a little bit.
He's just asking if there's new people in the call, and we did have at least one new person, but I don't see him on.
Yeah, he was working, so that's why I don't know if he was able to stay on.
He bailed, which
Yeah.
is kind of a bummer. But
Well,
Yeah, this is Chan. This is my first time joining as well. Just wanted to listen in and learn. Looking to build my portfolio over the coming couple decades.
where are you located? You in Rochester?
I'm here in Rochester, New York.
Where?
In Gates, Rochester, New York.
Oh, Gates. Sorry. Okay. Perfect. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go. Somebody was trying to chime in.
Hi, I'm Elisa. This is my first time attending this meeting. I'm also looking to get into real estate and just trying to learn how to like what's a sound deal, and definitely have a lot of I want to get into it, but I have a lot of fear about how to do it the right way, not make any major mistakes. So I'm just trying to learn and gather as much information before I jump into it. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Welcome. Well, this is a great place to get some good info, to get some really great information. So, and we all understand about being nervous the first time you're trying to do a deal, because it is very nerve-wracking. But after a while, it'll be like doing anything else. So get very comfortable with it, and we'll go over stuff like that for you. Anyone else? First of all, does anyone have any subjects that they would like to go over or cover before we get into things over here? This is open forum, so we like to make sure we have people participate and actually feel like they're actually getting some of their questions answered. We don't want people leaving confused. No questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Since you're from the Rochester market, and there are things, let's say the flip side of things, are offers crazy. How are things lightened a little bit? How are things going?
I couldn't really decipher. Did anyone catch what Scott was saying?
I think he was asking if everybody was on track for their goals, maybe? That's the only thing I could think about.
I don't know.
That's sort of what it sounded like, and it would be a Scott question. So where are you right now going to the back half of the year, and what are you seeing, and how do you feel about your business? And I think that was about all I could translate.
Anyone want to tell us how you're doing for the year, or if you're on track? Don't be afraid. We're not going to beat anybody up.
Perhaps he can also utilize the chat if that helps. I'll chime in. On track, yes and no. Of course, the moratorium has put certain things behind. Alex and I wanted to sell 4 or 5 of our properties this year, and we've exceeded that. So that's a positive. And yeah, we're using that money to do private lending. So hopefully we can fill that funnel or pipeline before the year ends as well.
Oh, that's great, Michelle.
Take
Knowing
away
you
the
and
tenant.
Alex, you guys will definitely do it.
If we can take away the tenant piece, I'd be in good shape.
Yep. The only thing about real estate is people.
Yeah.
Anyone else? How's everybody else doing on, I don't care if you're a beginner or not. Some people may say, well, I just started doing my marketing. Other people may say, maybe I'm buying my 10th property. So don't be afraid to chime in. We got some shy people on here today.
Good morning, Joe.
Morning.
It's Llewellyn. How are you?
I'm all right.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
I just wanted to chime in and say, I'm not actually a new person, but I've only been on the meeting a couple of times, so fairly new. So just wanted to hop in today and see what the heck's going on. I've been kind of, you know, taking a break lately. And as far as goals and things like that, I'm on track, but like Michelle said, kind of not on track. So just working on that and trying to hold everything together here with this eviction moratorium and all that stuff. So trying to keep on top of what's going on with that.
Okay. Yeah.
And
with that.
what the heck is going on with everybody wanting storage units? You know, it's like, whoa.
The storage facility takes the tenant piece out. You're just managing junk and not people. So it's definitely more attractive with the moratorium extensions.
Yeah, true. I knew it had something to do with tenants. I'm wondering how profitable it is and things like that. So, but yeah, maybe I should check that out.
A lot of people are checking that out.
I guess it's like everybody's gonna have storage units. Okay, cool.
Especially if you live in New York.
I know, it's terrible.
Yeah. So, anyone
Hello,
else?
hello, this is Jan. Yep, this is Jan. Quick update. My wife and I bought our first house last year. That's the house we're living in. I've been learning a lot about real estate this past year. The goal this past year has been to build financial education. We're saving for equity to buy our first property. Our goal is to buy one property every other year. My next step is to look for a mentor as we walk through the initial steps together, and really excited to find a group and meet people and network.
That's great. That's awesome, Chan. And yeah, a lot of education is definitely key, and that's great that you and your wife are doing that. That's actually fantastic. And you'll get some great information on here also. And there's people you can connect on here, you know, so utilize the chat box and, you know, and take down people's information. You can definitely do, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thanks, Joe. Yep, I definitely took out some information. Thank you for the info.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody needs to do that to be able to, you know, utilize this group. I mean, this group has over 240 members, and it's fantastic that you can actually talk to people. You know, what's great about this call, if you have a deal, you can call up Michelle and say, hey, Michelle, I've got a deal. I'm looking for some money. And you have other people on here looking to sell properties, or if you have a property you're looking to buy, you can connect. You can get them all connected right here. One-stop shop right here. So utilize that. Anyone else?
Hey, yeah, this is Diane. In. Hopefully.
Oh,
yep. Go ahead, Diane.
Oh, just up to date. I have a 1-4 family, and I was able to refinance my house last month, and so I'm ready to invest in. I haven't quite decided. I think I want to hold something. I've had luck with tenants, so I'm not into storage units yet. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm looking to buy something and either fix it up and hold it for a little bit. And that's my story. Thanks.
That's great. You know, everybody's getting geared up toward the end of the year. We've only got October, November, December. So technically we got like realistically, what, 16, 17 Saturdays away till Christmas. So if you're looking to get your, you know, get whatever you want to do for the end of the year, don't think of it as 4 months. Think of it as basically about 16 Saturdays. it will definitely bring things into perspective in regards to your timeline. Anyone else? I know, speaking for myself, I mean, this year has been a pretty good year. We've done pretty good. Obviously, everybody always wants to do better, and at the same time, I'm also transitioning into looking for more commercial, industrial type properties, and eventually, the goal is to do nothing less than $1 million properties. And I kid around with people. I want to be called 2 comma Joe. So no deal unless it's got 2 commas in it. And at the same time, it does require some transitions, and and obviously that's going to require more work, more time, more effort, and still have that somewhat of a balance. But so far this year we've been on track to to really do even better than last year. So, and for me, by the way, and I tell this to everybody, for the new people you don't know, but for me, my January 1st begins October 1st. Okay. So I have a whole different timeline because I like to be 5-6 months ahead of where I'm at now. So my January 1st is October 1st.
So then the moratorium ends for you on October then, right?
That would be great. That means that, yeah.
Well, hey.
That would be great. But but we'll get into that's a whole other subject. Anyone else have anything they want with regards to where they want to be, or are they where they're at, or where they need to be going into the end of the year? Everybody's good?
This is Scott. I actually dialed in, and I'm still doing video. But as far as my goals, we've had a couple of little hiccups along the way, and that's what it's all about. You kind of set your goals and you keep moving towards those. And I've helped some other people hit some goals, and some other people, they haven't hit their goal, but they've stayed engaged. And that's what I'm really impressed by is they have a goal. The plan changes a little bit, but the goal is not going to change. And I've experienced that myself this year. But like I said, I've helped some other people too, and some of them really hit their goals on what they wanted to accomplish, and other ones we just had to shift the dates a little bit, and that's okay to do. Don't give up on your goal. Have a vision of what you want and have a dream, and have that goal. But just remember, the plans are in sand. Sometimes you need to shift the plan, and that's okay. Don't get frustrated by that. Don't change it just to change it. Just understand why you had to change it, and make the change and set the new goal time frame. And that's what I've had to do. I've had a very, very, very good year. I set some pretty high goals, and I've hit a lot of them. Just a couple of them I wasn't able to hit. So that's kind of been my goal for 2020. And 2020 is not over by any means. And I'm like Joe. It's like, October 1st. I'm really actually I started, a couple months ago, what are going to be my 2021 goals. And I really need to sit in my life and do that too, and go through that. So, but no, I have a vision of what I want to accomplish, and we've accomplished a lot of things, but there's still more things I want to do. And real estate helps us to do that. And being with this group helps us to do that too. So that's where I'm at with my goals. Thanks.
So Scott, you're part owner of 8 storage facilities, right?
Yep, 8 of them. Mm-hmm.
What was your goal for the year? Double digits?
10.
10?
10.
Oh.
10.
Now, do you have anything going through the funnel that I know you're going to say yes, because I see that smile on your face because you're going to hit it. I assume you've got stuff in the mix where you're probably going to hit that goal.
Yeah, I do. I do have a couple in the mix right now that'll help me to hit that goal. A couple of them, one of them I'm taking, I'm going to be more of a consultant on that one. I'm not going to partner into that one. There's some financial reasons, but I'm just going to be a consultant on that one, and that worked out good. A couple facilities I looked at, let's see, one has a gas station tied to the property, and I just decided to walk away from that one. I didn't want anything to do with a self-storage that has gas stations. Gas stations make a ton of money and all that, but I just didn't want the legal potential that comes with that. And then another one, I finally turned it down this week. It was one outside of Chicago, Illinois. We were going to pick that up for about $324,000. The reason we turned it down is the property taxes, and I mentioned this before. The property tax on that facility, which I've never seen before, the property taxes should be about, I don't know, $3,500 to maybe $6,000 a year. The property taxes on this one were $35,000 a year.
Wow.
So, yeah, I just decided the rents are high there because the property taxes are so high, but I felt that if it had a hiccup or had a problem, you still were on the hook for that $35,000 a year in property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's substantial. So, yeah. But yeah, we got a couple other things in the works, and just a couple personal bumps along the way, and that life happens, and that's it. We just we take life as it comes, and with real estate, you're able to take the time to do what you need to with the personal things. It's very nice to be in this situation. So, and Joe, I know you've experienced some things too yourself personally that maybe took away from building a real estate business, but because of your real estate business, you're able to take care of those things, right?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be able to live my life. If I had to get a job, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to do what I can do now. Even saying the word gives me agito. I don't even want to think about that.
So there's a question in the chat from Pat Burks that is probably directed towards Scott. So what's the average startup to get started once you have found a potential location? So how much money do you need, I think is what she's asking.
Great question, Pat. And it's anywhere from $0 to $1 million. I wish I had a straight answer, but I really don't. I know some guys that have purchased properties with none of their own money between bank financing and starting a syndicate or getting personal investors. They purchase properties with none of their own money. But typically, if you're buying an established self-storage business, banks love to loan on them. SBA loves to loan on them. And with the SBA, depending on your experience and the numbers of the facility, you can get an SBA loan for 10 to 15% down. With the banks, a lot of banks are 15 to 25% down that you need to put down to purchase a property. But they don't mind if you bring in other people who, if you don't have money for a down payment, you can bring in other people and they put up the down payment. And that's how you can actually get into this business with no money down. But a lot of it's based on the experience, your experience in self-storage right now, what banks are looking at. So, but yeah, banks are willing to loan. They love self-storage, and we have some good bankers that we're working with right now. So I hope that helps.
Or you can just call Scott. Call Scott. He'll help you through it all the way through.
Yep. If you find a deal, let me know. Definitely. We are paying really good finder's fees for people to find properties. We're bringing them in as partners, or doing both, paying them a finder's fee and making them a little equity partner in the property. So that's what we're doing.
Anyone else have any questions, anything that they'd like to ask? Okay. Scott, before you got on, we were going to touch upon, because I don't know if you know, I know, just so everybody knows, Scott's traveling around the country right now. And he's living the RP life, rich people life. So I don't know if he knows. I was kidding around with that, by the way. But basically, Scott, they passed the another eviction moratorium last night. So we were going to touch upon that, because I've got people asking me questions about that. I had people talking to me about it last night, this morning. So in regards to, you know, the investment part. Okay. Scott, did you even know that the eviction moratorium got extended?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about that just a little bit, because
Okay.
I've had people, you know, going over some concerns, hence why people like Scott, Michelle, all these other people are looking at more storage facilities, industrial type properties, so you don't have to deal with tenants. The eviction moratorium was extended till January 22nd. So basically, you know, landlords right now that are frustrated are even more frustrated. And what's that mean for the investment part? I know, and by other people can chime in on this also, by the way. You know, I've had numerous conversations with other investors who are basically getting out. And when there's a bunch of them on here right now, I could hear the frustration in Michelle's voice about that. And there are opportunities out there. And you also got to be careful, because some people are going to try taking advantage of that. And, you know, you're going to have people calling up to see about getting rid of properties. One of the big, huge differences that ever since the pandemic started and people weren't paying rent, we always ask the basic questions when people call up to sell. Yesterday, I mean, I'm doing this every single day now. We always ask, okay, how old's the roof? You know, the separate utilities, blah, blah, blah. One of the major first questions I ask, are the tenants paying? Okay. And most of the landlords will be pretty honest. We found some that not so honest. You know, all of a sudden we find out, oh no, we haven't paid in like 6 months, you know, and then, oh yeah, they pay on time. Okay. But a lot of the, you know, there's going to be landlords that are going to be getting rid of their properties. I know a lot of people are avoiding them. I'm not speaking for everybody on here, because what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. We have been buying properties where the tenants are not paying. At the same time, we're looking at the area. We are looking at, you know, the whole time, and even with the whole time, is it still going to be worth it on the back end? You know, we're purchasing a house over the very nice part of 19th Ward. It's probably worth close to, I don't know, 140, 150, but we're buying it at, I think we're around $50,000. Okay. So, you know, and that one over there for us. And if you're a new person with no money, that may not be a good deal for you. If you're a person with experience and they understand the market and they have the wherewithal, it may be a good deal. Okay. Because I've had people calling me up and saying, hey, Joe, should I buy this property? And I'm like, how much money do you have? you know, if they don't pay for the next 6, 7, 8 months, even I like to figure a year. And on this property, we figured 1 year, which should be more than enough. We're actually closing on this property, I think, in another week or so, whatever. So, you know, I'm figuring until next October. And the place is in great shape. I actually went through it. And then there's other places I've gone through, which I'm like, not a chance. It's just not, I know, I'm not willing to take that chance. And please, by the way, anything we talk about, always talk to your accountant and attorney. I forgot to say that in the beginning. You know, don't take as what we say as gospel, because everybody has different thresholds of pain here, and different thresholds in regards to what they're looking to do. Okay. I know it's changed a lot of people's, people have had to pivot in regards to where they're investing. And obviously some people I've talked to have not hit their goals of what they wanted to do, but they did it because they could have hit their goals, but it would have put them in a much worse financial position if they had kept on track because of, you know, people not paying, and they would have gotten some great deals, but they would have also put themselves in a much worse financial situation. And first of all, by the way, people add on to this. I don't know if anyone else has been changing what they're doing, or if it's been affecting them, or you know, please feel free to talk here. I don't know if
Hey, Joe, what was the date that it was extended to?
January 22nd.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's January 15th, though. I just read it.
What?
I just looked it up real quick. It's January 15th. I think you're off by a week, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Well, at least we saved 7 days. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm glad you told me. Yeah.
I didn't hear you quite right at first. I thought you said September. So
5 more months.
Let's all be honest here. If we're really thinking clearly, they're not going to lift the moratorium in the middle of January.
No, they're not. We know that.
They couldn't get, they were aiming for June something, middle of June, and they couldn't get everybody on board unless they only extended it to January. But Kavanaugh has already proposed multiple times pushing it to June, and he will get his way. So just expect it to go through June of next year.
Yep. They're not going to throw people out in the middle of winter.
And I think as landlords, we will all agree, and I know this isn't tenants and toilets, but we don't want people out. We just want them to pay or to get assistance. And I know this is falling on deaf ears. They're missing the whole point of all this. They're just giving one sector a free ride, and they're not looking at the long-term consequences.
Correct.
Yep.
They're exporting wealth, because every house that's been sold, well, let's say a majority of the homes that have been sold that are for rent aren't going to local investors. They're going to out of state, New York City people just buying stuff up, and they're going to run a C property like a C property, and they're going to have a C landlord, and the properties are going to decline in value and quality. And, you know, 5 years from now, there will be no good quality affordable housing left in Rochester. I mean,
I heard something on the news the other day that the Biden administration wants to buy 100,000 properties or build. They're going to either rehab or new construction for low-income tenants. So
it worked in the 70s, right?
That's big.
I'm sure they'll do it right this time, because, you know, definition of insanity and all that. Let's just keep trying the same failed stuff over and over again and see if we can do it better.
Exactly.
And by the way, I used to work for a construction company. We used to build those houses, and in the city D areas, and they would spend over $100,000+ to build a $40,000-$50,000 house. So yeah, we won't get into all that though. But yeah, it's interesting. But you know, a lot of us definitely need to take into account what's going to be happening with that. I know it's affecting more of the lower income. A lot of people are gravitating toward the A and B type areas, or the C plus areas. You know, most of my properties are in A and B areas, And, I've had a couple of slow payers. That was prior to COVID. But what we're noticing is that those areas over there, people are paying. And the problem is that everybody's gravitating toward those areas. And, and I hear the frustration in people is they can't find anything. And, and they just don't want to pay the really high prices. So everybody's waiting. They figured, okay, once the moratorium is lifted, things will start coming back to normal. But, a lot of these people, some of them I've talked to, they're like, prices are not going to come back down to normal till way after the pandemic ends or the moratorium ends. And now, even if it gets pushed to even if it just goes till January, you got a 5, 6, 7 month lag time. And if it does get pushed till June, you're going into 2023. So nobody knows what's going to happen with the prices. Does that mean the prices are still going to stay higher? I don't know. That's one of the things I kept thinking about last night when I was watching some of it, and I had to actually turn it off because I couldn't stand it anymore. First time I've ever watched the Senate channel in my life, and but all I kept thinking was, what's it going to do to here? We've had some crazy prices. Does that mean the prices are still going to be high? Does that mean we're still, if you're looking to flip, are we still able to pay a little bit higher prices and still get higher prices on the back end? I'm not really too sure. Obviously, it's going to depend on what happens with interest rates and everything else, but there's so many variables in regards to what's happening with this, not just with city properties, because the moratorium is going to affect the foreclosures. The moratorium is going to affect people being able to still live in their houses. So, and I don't know, I'm not the smartest person in the world when it comes to this. And, I'm even looking for insights, and please, if anyone has anything they'd like to add to this, please do so. Or if you have questions about this, please ask. No questions?
Question I have, with how house prices been, or is the market still killer hot there? Has it slowed a little? What's going on that side? And the reason I'm asking, I know a lot of people want to do some wholesale deals and flip deals. And how are you as a flipper evaluating the houses that you're going to sell now?
I know for me personally, houses are still selling. I was talking with Colleen Bracci. She had a house that was listed in, God, I can't remember, one of the suburbs. And she thought she was going to get a ton of people coming through. And she had like 4 or 5 people. And she had another property in the city area, but a nice house. She had an unbelievable amount of people coming through. No rhyme, no reason. We're still getting multiple offers on properties. Obviously, what we're finding is they have to be done right. You can't lipstick them up, or sometimes people come in and they just want to chapstick them, like they were at the beginning of the season or beginning of the spring, especially going in the winter. But I don't know. I mean, Michelle or anyone else, can you guys, how are you guys finding the exact same thing?
I think that the market has definitely slowed a bit. I think from, May, June, July, even August, we were seeing, showings in the dozens, and then minimally 10 plus offers. I think some of it has to do with listings being overpriced. And then some of it has to do with the end of August is always a slower time of year because people are going on vacation and preparing for school to start. So I think somewhere in the middle of August through post Labor Day, we will see a bit of a slow. And then it should pick back up again, but the moratorium could change that. I don't know what rates are doing. I know that I'm on both sides. So I'm selling properties for our investors, and then I'm also looking for properties to buy for our investors. And the quality of the property definitely has a lot to do with it. Like you said, if it's a good quality property done right, it's still going to get multiple offers. If it's a shit property and it's overpriced, you're going to see it on the market. And then a week or two later, you're going to see a price reduction where it probably should have been in the first place. So, I don't think the market is dead. I think it's taken a slight turn, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what happens after the middle of September, after school starts. I know everybody's been going crazy with that. And the last few winters, still hasn't slowed down. Now, I've talked to other attorneys, and they're just getting bombarded. Steve Peterson called me last night. He's one of his attorney that I use. And 7:30 last night, he was still at his office, and he'd gotten there at 6:30 in the morning. And he is just buried. I talked to another attorney. He had 20 purchase offers come in, but it was geared more toward investors. That's what he saw. And I forgot to ask Steve if he had more investors buying or more homeowners. That's one of the things that I want to find out about. The investment parts we're getting rid of, as long as they're decent and in much better areas, we're selling them. We're able to wholesale those things off pretty good. And, it's just kind of crazy as the prices are still pretty high. I know typically like Michigan Street, typically I was buying them there for, $15,000-$20,000 with tenants in them. Now they're selling fixed up for $80,000 to $90,000. It's crazy, almost $100,000. And there's people out there who want those properties. They want to focus on those properties, so that way they don't have to, they're getting a higher rate of return. Instead of going off and spending $150,000 to make $30,000, they'll spend $50,000 to make $25,000 higher rate of return. But I'm just interested. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with the interest rates and the moratorium still being in place, and still see if there's actually a shortage of inventory. Any questions with that? Anything anybody wants to add with that, or anything that they're, and we're not trying to sway people from purchasing here. So we're trying not to, so please don't think of it as we're trying to scare people here.
And let's look at it this way. Tenants are temporary. Properties are an asset. They've done nothing but increase over time. Even Detroit has increased since their biggest, shift downward. The pandemic will end at some point. It really just depends on what you're able to weather during this storm. I have a lot of clients in Texas, California, in other areas of the country who still see Rochester as one of the lowest priced housing markets, and where I wouldn't have paid more than $50,000 or $60,000 for a house a couple of years ago, they're willing to pay $100,000, $125,000 for it, because it's still an asset that's going to generate not only some income, but also bring them, equity and, a return over the, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So we're still one of the lowest price housing markets in the country. So don't be afraid, just be educated and be prepared for, potential storms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Michelle. And I know people that are, that are looking for opportunities. Some of them say, listen, this could be a buying opportunity, because there are people looking to get out. Everything ebbs and flows. Just because it's terrible now doesn't mean it's going to be terrible forever. And Michelle is 1,000% correct. It's an asset, you know, and if you buy it right, you know, for that one gentleman, for that house in the suburb, and a house in the 19th ward that's worth 140, 150, he was a homeowner. It was his only property that he rented out. He wants nothing to do with it. He's older. He just wants out. For him, that was like a weight around his neck trying to swim. Okay. For me, that's an asset. It's an opportunity. Can everybody still hear me, by the way?
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. My computer did something. I'm afraid to touch it. So.
Yeah, we hear you pretty good, and I'll agree. I think that what you guys are talking about, being in this group, just it's really helps you get through all this and being smart. And I think people who are educating themselves and learning and not giving up are stand to make a lot of money at this. And I've still talked with a lot of flippers, wholesalers in that area and across the country too. And they say the business is still really good. They may have had to adjust this potential sale price of their house a little bit, but they're doing pretty good. So the market's still good for that single family home, first home buyer type home. And even in the secondary or second tier type markets, people are still experiencing good things. So, you know, there's some bad news, that's for sure, with the moratorium being extended now. But people I talk to, things have slowed a little bit, but things are still good. Don't, you know, if you're new to this and this is your first call, and Joe will attest and Michelle will too, don't give up. You know, don't walk away from this going, oh man, I don't think I want to do this. Just stick with it, learn, be smart, reach out to people, and just talk to people and find out what's going on. So that's what I've been experiencing. That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, that's great advice, Scott. You know, and just like Scott said, you know, don't be scared. And if you are scared, there's people on this call who are not, that you can actually connect to and talk to, either guide you through it or be able to make it an opportunity for yourself to be able to maybe possibly pass a deal along to somebody else and, you know, getting paid for it. Okay. So there's always opportunity, bottom line. And I don't want this to be a doom and gloom call. We're not trying to make it that way. There is opportunity, and everybody, listen, I can attest for myself. I'm not the only one. You know, we're all busy, you know, and at the same time, we have more time than some of these other people on the call here. So we're able to, you know, obviously through this call, network, talk, and be able to move a little bit quicker. But all of us can do this on this call. All you got to do is just get educated. Just, you know, just like Chan earlier when he talked at the beginning, you know, he's getting himself more education, and he'll be able to move pretty fast to be, you know, once he sees an opportunity.
I agree with what you guys have all been saying about the market. I'm seeing the same thing, you know, where the market was really hot in, you know, spring into summer. I'm seeing it cool down a little bit now. I noticed that with the sale of my house, and it's just, I think it's taken a little bit of a break, and I think it should pick up after school, because I think people are just all getting ready for that. But, and the other thing with me is it's like, and I'm assuming with a lot of other investors and landlords, is we're just sitting kind of treading water, waiting to see what's going to happen before we jump into anything else. But with that said, it's been going on so long. I don't, you know, I think people are tired of doing that. And all I can say is, I know that if a good deal comes along to me, then I'll jump on it. But as we also said, that, you know, a lot of in this market, it's hard to find something good. So we're all struggling with that. But, you know, it hasn't, with what's going on, it hasn't made me where I want to sell my properties. Not yet, but I haven't experienced either the, you know, amount of people amount of tenants that aren't paying that some other landlords have. So my properties have been pretty steady. I've had a couple that haven't been able to pay a few times, and then they got caught back up. And I have one tenant right now that's having a problem, and she's working on it. So that's my insight on what's going on. And I guess we'll just all have to, you know, do the best we can, get through it and see what happens.
You know, a lot of people are getting antsy. I talked to one guy yesterday. He found a property and he told me the price he was going to get it for. And he goes, Joe, what do you think? And because he just wants to find a deal so badly. And I go, I'm not telling you. I go, but for me, no way. And I went over the numbers with him. And then, and he was just kind of like, he goes, yeah, I kind of figured, but you know, I go, I know you're anxious, but you're going to get this deal and you're going to wish you hadn't gotten this deal. And then he calls me back later on. He goes, Joe, I got him down a little bit. And I was like, I said, for me, I'm not telling you, I wouldn't do it. But I said, look, if you've got somebody else who may want to buy and hold it and is willing to take that, I go do it. And I asked him, I go, do you have anybody? Well, I'm not really too sure yet. I said, well, you better be sure. You know, you don't go into a deal hoping. And the price is going to be the difference in regards to hoping it's a deal and knowing it's a great deal. Okay. And right now in these times, again, for me, not for anybody else, I want a great deal. I don't want, you know, I want to, you're not always going to hit a home run. You may get the third base. Okay. But I'm not looking just to get the first or second base on a deal. It's just, for me, it's not worth it. Again, for somebody else, it could be. I want that security. Okay. So are there people who are very anxious and sitting on the sidelines? Yes. Oh my God. Look, even the seasoned investors on here who are buying properties all the time, we get antsy too, and we're buying properties, you know? So, but be smart about it. And don't, just because you're sitting on the sidelines, they sometimes, you know, get educated. Don't just sit there, you know, and don't be afraid. While you're sitting on the sidelines, call some people, talk to some people, get yourself situated. So that way when something does come along, you can actually go after it, and go after it very quickly. Okay. Anybody have any questions, anything? There.
Let's see. Let's see. Elisa, do you have any questions? I know you said you're newer and you've been listening to a lot. Do you have any questions or anything that you'd like to talk to, like what maybe your investment strategy might be or what you might like to do? And that's the thing you have to think about too, is what are you going to like doing? You know, and Elisa, and I think the other new guy, was his name
Chan?
Was it?
Chan.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I'd like to hear from you.
So I guess I see right now I'm living in a house that I am planning on buying from my parents. They've are basically selling it to me for like maybe 80,000 less than, you know, the market price, which is pretty amazing. But then I haven't gone through with, you know, getting a bank loan and all of that stuff yet, because I've kind of been wondering if it would be better for me to do like an owner occupied duplex first. So I'm kind of just sitting in not really sure what my next best move should be. And I've spent a lot of time like looking at properties online and just kind of trying to figure out, you know, if I get a duplex or a multi-family property, like just figuring out, you know, how I would fund it. I do have some savings, so you know, I could do a couple deals I've looked at. I just don't know if it's like how sound the deal is. Like I try to do all of the math on my own, but I guess I feel pretty insecure because I haven't ever done this before. So I'm thinking like, are there things that I'm missing? So that's kind of where I am right now. I would like to just, I do want to get like multi-family properties and kind of start there and see where it takes me. That's kind of my goal right now, and just exploring, you know, that whole, like learning as much as I can, and then maybe venturing out from there. But that's kind of where I am right now. I kind of feel a little bit frustrated. Like I hear you guys saying, you know, make sure you like be smart about it and all of that. But for me, I'm like I definitely want to be smart about it, and but I don't want to wait forever either, because I feel like I might never be smart enough to make that first move, because I don't know what's going to happen. So I guess I'm looking for maybe a little bit of mentorship too. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. Thanks.
Alyssa, have you ever heard of Bigger Pockets? It's a real estate investment website.
I love Bigger Pockets.
Okay.
I listen to them all the time. Yeah,
Good.
I love it.
They have you know, investment calculators. There's all sorts of resources on there. Back to the home that your parents want to sell you. If it were me, I would definitely get a bank loan on it, and then I would get a home equity line of credit for the equity, and then I would use that equity to buy my investment properties. So don't be afraid to do a bank loan. You know, that especially if there's equity in there that you can utilize to your benefit. And one other just small little thing, a lot of newer investors are, you know, look for mentorship, look for help. And all of us seasoned investors are more than willing to help. But keep in mind too, that everyone's time is valuable. And as much as we would love to help everyone, it's not feasible. So if you have a gift or a skill or something that you can offer, you know, people who are offering assistance to you to balance that out and make their time and extra time worth it, certainly offer that up front, so that you're not just asking for help, but you're offering something in return.
Yeah, thank you. And then the other thing too is my parents offered to just do a loan through them, but it sounds like it would probably be a better option to do a loan through the bank based on what you're saying, so that I could do the equity loan that you had mentioned.
You could do either. You could do a first mortgage with your parents, have them record the mortgage, and then you can get a home equity line of credit as a second mortgage. So both are great options, especially if your parents are going to give you a lower interest rate than what a bank would, and you'll have less closing costs with your parents.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in real quick on this because this is a topic that I'm super passionate about. So I've personally been in a lot of debt at one point in my life, and I've kind of gone away from that perspective of like taking loans out. And I know that might be like the slower way, but I feel like that might be a lot of the reasons why people are getting, I guess, frustrated with people not paying because they have a mortgage or they have more debt on the property, and it's forcing them to have to rely on that money that's coming in from the rentals to be able to pay the loans. You know, so that was one thing I wanted to jump in on that because it kind of prompted me to be like, oh man, if I had a first, second, on an investment property and the tenants are not paying, now I'm in a position where I'm pissed off and I can't wait till this is, so I can get them out, so I can get somebody in that's paying it. So that's one thing that I don't know if anybody has any other thoughts on that in terms of how to do it without debt. That would be my passion to kind of understand. I know it's slower, but that would be one thing that I wanted to bring up on that part.
I mean, to buy it without debt, obviously you're going to have to accumulate a lot of cash. And Tom, I get exactly what you're saying. And by the way, so everybody knows, Tom is in the mortgage industry, so he sees a lot of stuff that's going on. But the thing is that, a lot of us, we like to leverage. Yeah, as if you're younger, you want to leverage, and some people, depending on where you're at, you want to get to the point where you're free and clear. That's even better, obviously, because then you can either, just like Michelle was talking about, pull lines, home equity lines of credit out, or whatever you're going to need against the property. At least that way you've got that available, because you're just building massive amount of wealth that way. But like for me, I wasn't able to just go and pay cash for everything, especially when I started out. I needed to get leveraged, so I needed to actually go for the loans. Everybody's in a different situation.
And I'm going to echo what Michelle said too, Elisa, what she said. If your parents are willing to finance that property and you have a bunch of equity in it, you get a home equity line of credit, and that'll help you to buy more real estate. And make sure it's a line of credit, not a home equity loan. What a line of credit is like a charge card, in case you don't know. You don't pay on the money until you borrow it. A home equity loan, they give you the lump sum of money and you have to start paying on it right away. A line of credit's nice because you can use that to buy investment properties. And then when you refinance out of the investment property or whatever, you pay back your home equity line of credit. A lot of people I know have done that, building their business. And it's a very good way to build a business. So I agree with Michelle. If your parents are willing to finance it, take the equity and use that to build your real estate portfolio.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'll definitely look into the home equity line of credit.
And Elisa, you said they'll sell to you for $80,000 below market value.
Yeah, that was my mom's persuasion. Like my dad wanted, maybe 20, 30,000 less. And my mom kept dropping the price. So, it was nice.
Get them down to 100. No.
Yeah.
Say 100, even 100 sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great situation. I like that. I agree with Michelle and I agree with Scott. I would definitely take advantage of that. And again, and by the way, are you here local or are you out of the area? Oh, did we lose her?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here local. I live in North Winton Village.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the reason why I ask is because obviously, there's people here who can connect with you and, and give you guidance and, you can actually talk to it. If you're dealing with your parents, I think you're in safe hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anyone else? I was gonna. I don't know if anyone wants to anything that they'd like to go over, but if they don't, I'm going to go over. So actually geared more towards some of the newer people and also some of the other people who've been doing this for a while. But before I get into that, does anyone have anything that they'd like to talk about or add?
Hello, this is Chan again. In response to Michelle's comment about having something to offer as you're looking for a mentor to make it worth the person's time. I'm a family physician, so I'm willing to offer free medical advice. No malpractice suit on me though. Just thinking about building equity and a right time to buy it. sounds like there's always opportunity is what I hear. But I mean, it's been 13 years since the housing crash in '08. Isn't the market cycle like should be coming for some blood in the water in the next coming season? I was thinking just waiting and build equity and save until there's great opportunity, and then you can buy more than one property at one time. What do you guys think about that?
If anyone wants to answer that, go ahead. If not, I'll take it on.
Go
Well,
ahead.
I think the housing market has fluctuations just like the stock market. You have to decide what you want to do. You can buy stocks throughout the highs and lows, or you can wait for a crash. And same with the housing market. If you buy during the highs and then also during the lows, you're going to balance yourself out. If you wait and there's never a crash, then you've potentially missed opportunities and missed the opportunity to, build equity. I mean, I've been buying since 1994. So there's been multiple fluctuations in the market, and in the end, we've come out ahead. So if I would have waited, I would have, probably passed up millions of dollars in equity.
Yeah, and like one thing, Chan, here's a great thing about the Rochester market. We don't see the big downturns, at least we haven't in the past in the Rochester market. We don't see the big upswings like they do in California and let's say Florida, but we also don't see the big downturns either in Rochester. Rochester tends to be a pretty stable market. We've had some good growth because of the boom that's going on, but I don't think you're going to see the big corrections. So I think, like Michelle said, if you just keep buying smart and keep buying on a regular basis, keeps you informed on what's going on, and also just kind of keeps you in the game. You know what the property values are and such. So, like Joe said, we have the disclaimer. Don't take what we say as legal advice or financial advice. Check with your financial advisor, check with your tax attorney, and check with your tax preparer, and also check with your attorney before acting on any of this, because everybody's situation is a little bit different. But I built my business slow and steady. I had a number of rentals. I did some flips. I did a little bit of wholesaling. Now I'm mostly doing self-storage because I'm traveling, but just slow and steady. I bought through the up times, I bought through the down times, and just slow and steady, and you'll build a nice portfolio, especially at your age. You have time to do it. So just slow and steady, make the good buys, and there's good buys out there now. I wouldn't hesitate.
All right. So, and by the way, to add on to exactly what Scott and Michelle were talking about, Chan, is that even while people were overpaying for properties, there are still a lot of people finding great deals. Okay. And, some people, yes, you can wait. And Michelle said it correctly. You can lose a lot of opportunity. We were still, look, I'm not the only ones buying properties. A bunch of us on this call, and we also a ton of people who were still finding great properties out there that they were making, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in profits, even while people were paying 30, 40, $50,000 above asking price. And when I'm talking about 10,000, when I'm not talking about flipping, I'm talking about, people looking to do wholesaling and things like that. So there are plenty of opportunities. And once you're connected and networked, and then you'll know what a good deal is, and you will be able to find them. Okay. And it's all boils down to being connected, being networked, and being, and just being down in the trenches with everybody. Okay. And again, we're not telling you to jump in. You really need to know, that one that I bought in the 19th ward, that's a fantastic deal. Even if the market drops by 25, 30%, which is not going to do, especially here in Rochester, just like Scott just said, because we always feel just a little blip. We're not like New York City, LA, Miami, and things like that. Even if that property dropped by 30%, I'm still gonna do fantastic on it. Okay, so that was a buying out. And by the way, that's one of many, and I'm not the only one on this call with those types of stories. So, definitely, for me, again, go with what you're comfortable with. I personally would not want to wait. And besides, we don't know what's even going to happen with this moratorium. You could be stuck on the sidelines. Now, your competition will love you for staying on the sidelines because it's just less people that they have to compete against. Okay.
Thank you for all the pearls of wisdom. That was very helpful. Well, as I mentioned, live in Gates, and for my first rental property, I'm looking for something in Gates, single family in the 120, 130 or less. 1,300 square feet, 1,400 square feet to rent out around 1,600 a month is what we're looking at. You guys have any thoughts on that? That's just been hard to do from what's been on the market over the past year.
Are you looking at retail, or are you trying to find things that are off market?
We're looking at retail, and we're trying to look for things off market, but I don't really know how to find things off market.
Okay. Here's the thing. You're looking for 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 square foot houses, you said, right?
Yes.
So typically you're going to be.
So we're looking for something that's in the $90 to $100 per square foot range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, typically things are selling a little bit more than that. They're out there. You can find them. But you're going to have to, and that's obviously we don't have time to go over all this in regards to marketing, but this is a great place to have people find you when they get property, say, oh, hey, I know this guy Chan, he's looking for a property in Greece. This may fit his needs. Let me call him. So this is a great way to network on that, to be able to find that. I know typically you're over $100+ a square foot. So if you find something that's 1,400 square feet, you're going to be $150,000 minimum. And if you're looking, to spend $120,000, yes, it'd be great to buy it below market value. But on the open market, I mean, if you're looking retail, especially on the MLS, that's going to be kind of difficult.
Right. I mean, when I look at the rent calculation, though, like people in Gates not going to want to pay significant more than the $1,500 to $1,700 per month range for rent. And if you pay more than $150, your return is not great. Your cash on cash return is like 4%.
Yeah.
5%.
Exactly. So that's the rub. That's the challenge. That's why you find them off market. And if you have to do a little bit of work to them, you find somebody who needs to sell, not wants to sell. And that's when, you make your money, is when you buy them. And that will help you in turn in regards to the rentals. I own a lot of properties in the suburbs, and I've never paid more than 50% of the value of the property. Okay. But it took my time. But that's because, I always, that's because, I built my business. And if we had more time, we'd go over. We're running out of time over here, but yeah, for what you're looking to do, it's a great subject in regards to being able to find more properties. And I think, the next meeting we're going to have is going to be 2 weeks, but it's going to be in the evening. We'll probably touch upon that, because I've had a ton of newer people and other people who've just been trying to figure out how to be able to get the properties. But there's a big difference between newer people are
More
coming in trying
intimate.
to find a property versus trying to get networked. Big difference. So you see a big difference in results. Okay.
Right, right. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. And I don't know if anyone else wants to go over. We're just about out of time over here. But if I'll stick around here for a few more minutes, I want to be respectful to everybody's time. We try to wrap up by 10:30. And but if you have some questions, I'll stick around for a few more minutes. But I want to thank everybody. I don't know, is Scott still on right now?
Yep, I'm still on.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I lost it or not. There you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody who's new or newer, even 5 years in the business, Joe and I have been doing this pretty serious for about 14, 15 years now. We've seen some real trends and we've done a lot of transactions and stuff. Don't be intimidated by what Joe and I are telling us. You'll get there. It's just slow and steady. You know, there's people on this call that have been doing real estate for over 30 years. So if you're new, don't be intimidated by what we're telling you. Oh, I don't know anything, nothing like that. Just take time to learn it. That's all. We've done a lot of transactions. We've made a lot of mistakes. I know I have. And just, you know, what you want to do is investigate and be prepared enough so when you make the mistakes, they don't impact you as much. And that's a great thing about this group is you're going to learn. You have people with experience. Like Michelle said, we don't have a lot of free time because we're still building our businesses and such. But it's just slow and steady. Keep showing up, keep learning. Bigger Pockets, like Michelle said, that's a great website. I've learned a lot from that website. And just reach out to people. That's it. Chan, you're talking about Gates. I love Gates. I think it's a pretty steady market. I think it's great for rentals. You get a good quality tenant in there typically. And I think Gates is a pretty stable market. You aren't going to see big price increases, but you can still pick up some deals there too. So I just wanted to say that, like Joe said, Joe and I have been doing this pretty serious now for, like I said, about, let's say 14, 15 years. And we learned a lot along the way, and Joe and I learned a lot from each other too. So that's it.
All right. Well, we'll stick around for a few more minutes. I want to thank everybody for getting on the calls. Everybody have a great day, great morning, and let's go do real estate. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
God, are you still in Virginia?
Yeah, still in Virginia.
How long are you there for?
Here, now probably till about the end of October, maybe beginning of November.
Wow.
We'll be traveling. Though. We got a lot of things done that we had to accomplish here. Two of the facilities I'm picking up happen to be in Roanoke if everything works out well. One I'm going to be a consultant on, and the other one I'm going to be a partner on, an equity partner. We're going to be auctioning off some stuff here. Household contents and stuff. Chris is father's household contents, and it takes about 6 weeks to do that all in all.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many doors? I know you were at 500 doors before. You get these other two. Where are you going to be at?
Maybe around 700 doors.
In how long? A year and change?
A year and change. But don't forget, I'm minority partner in a bunch of these, and 50-50 partners is the max partnership I'm in on any of these. So
that's still impressive.
Yeah, thanks. Things have been good, but it's because of the background I have from real estate and also learning from Mike Wagner and that crew there, you know, the Storage Rebellion group. That's what's helped me, just like this group. We're in here to help each other and help everybody go and grow and get excited for each other's wins and also, talk through the losses, kind of. So it's been really good. Yeah.
Wow.
Quick question, if you guys don't mind.
Go
Are you
ahead.
still doing question? Okay, cool. So what would be your preferred method? So I want to strictly focus on wholesale and learn that before I move to anything else. If that sounds like a good strategy, whatever, but that's kind of my goal. And when I think about that and I try to think about providing value to, people that are more seasoned, since I'm brand new, what would be your preferred, I guess, method? Is it an email? Hey, here's a property I found. Like, what does that look like to try to build value with you guys? To say, hey, here's something I found, whether it be through, like I mentioned Joe the other day, prop stream or something like that. Do you want me to do an analysis on it? Do you want me to bring it then more than just, hey, here's an address? I know you guys are busy, so I'm trying to add value, but also do it in a way that's, conducive to you guys.
Obviously, the more information, the better. Is that Tom, by the way?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Tom, the more information, the better, obviously. Sometimes we will have people, hey, here's a property. You got to be able to bring value, and obviously finding a property is bringing value. But the more information you give, the better. Sometimes, we'll know, depending on the area. I had a guy call me up this morning, Joe, we think of a property in this area, and I knew it was not the best. And I told him I'm very familiar with it, and I already knew, but it doesn't always work out that way. So the more, the better.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with what Joe said. The more, the better. Typically, the more information I have somebody, the bigger the fee will be to them, the more investigating I have to do. And I don't mind doing it. Just as somebody brings me a deal that's kind of all set and all the homework's been done and they have all the information I need, they get a bigger wholesale fee. If I got to put time and effort into it, the wholesale fee will change a little bit, maybe not a ton, but the more information I have, the quicker I can make a decision. So.
No, that makes total sense. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
No problem.
All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to drop off myself. So everybody have a good day. If you see self-storage, call me. If you're out there and it looks run down, if you just want to send me the number, I'll give them a call and see what they have going on there. You don't have to do much investigating on that. Like I said, the more information you have, the better, the quicker we can do the deal. But if you just see a facility that looks like maybe it's run down or needs some loving, just send me a picture of it. I'll give them a call and see what we can make happen. And all across the East Coast, I'm going to say pretty much cross country, but right now really focused on the East Coast for me. So, but thanks everybody, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Thanks, Scott. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
All right. I guess we're dropping off. Let's do real estate.
Take care.
Let's go make some money.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I like money.
Day. Thanks. All right.
Take care.